All right, hello, Sooner Nation. I should have worn my Thunder stuff. This is going to be a Thunder podcast, so just get ready. We're going to talk a little bit of OU stuff to start it off with, but small amounts. But you don't win a freaking NBA championship and talk OU. So,
well, I mean, joy is an emotion that, I did make the mistake. I was texting with my nephew. He just went back to college and he was like, "So is this your happiest day since when?" And I was like, 2000, easy. And he's like, "Oh, so not the birth of your child or your wedding day." And I was like, "Whoops." What about when the Yankees won it in 09? I'm like, yeah, well, it is what it is.
I think my wife said, I don't know which she's happier for, this or when the Braves won the championship in 2021. And then marrying me and our birth of our children is somewhere third and fourth.
Yeah, so as our wives have stated, they're not listening anyway, so we can say it. It's perfectly fine. But good
Lindsay
news.
has been pretty vocal about that. She makes sure that I know all the time that I do not listen to you and you're stupid. So that's what I hear a lot of. So,
and once again, my performance as the co-host much lower than Brian. So again, she go out there, try to watch and help get our views up a little bit. But good news on the Goss front. If you remember when we signed off last time, I said, man, I'm hoping for three things. I hope, number one, we get electricity back in my house. As you can see, I'm back in the office here. Number two, I was hoping for the Thunder to close it out, which they did, championships. And number three, I said, hopefully the Sooners sign Bo Bentley. Check. Now I realize I know sign. I'm saying sign. We got a commitment from Bo Bentley. I mean, Jeremy and I realize signing day is not here yet. But I think we should talk just a little bit there, Jeremy, that I think we all saw the tea leaves when O'Neal decommitted. We thought, Jeremy and I both thought, okay, best case scenario, this probably means that the Bentley thing's going, where I'm sure some of our other friends and some of the other Sooners like, well, now we're getting neither one of them. We're screwed. No quarterbacks. Who would sign with us? The staff's over and done with anyway. But do think this is a big win for Ben Arbuckle, don't you?
Yeah. And mentioning our friends, we were talking before we came on, our friends on our group chat has no ability to be happy about anything. So I think they were mad when the Thunder won the World Championship. And also, too, watching games and having them text about people that don't know much about basketball is infuriating. Yeah. But yeah, that said, it's kind of, I think, what everybody expected. That's what Arbuckle wanted. And I think O'Neal saw that too. And O'Neal, now he's committed to Florida State. All the pieces kind of fell into place.
And I mean, the only person I do feel a little bit sorry for Jaden O'Neal in this scenario, just for the simple fact of this is why, like, Jaden O'Neal moved to Mustang, and this is no shots at Lee Blankenship's program up there or the beautiful facilities at Mustang High School, but you moved halfway across the country. You don't get to finish high school with your friends. You don't get to do any of that to be next to a university you didn't end up signing with. Yeah. And, it's just one of those things of, from what everyone's told me, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I've just, grinded and watched all the tape on both Bentley and O'Neal. But I think O'Neal is a really, really good prospect. I think he's probably, as far as just standing there throwing it farther and harder, I think he probably does that better than Bo Bentley. Looking at some of the Elite 11 stuff that came out with Bentley, I do think that, one thing that I liked was like he won like the Gamer Award or like the Mr. Intangibles or, just whatever white guy thing, you want to say, gritty, tough.
Best white quarterback out there.
Yeah, I think that's what he got, like Alex Caruso, gets all those adjectives. TJ McConnell gets all those adjectives, and that's just is what it is. But I do think, he's a real lunch bill guy, hard at, but I do think Bo Bentley is who Arbuckle wanted. We want Arbuckle to have what he wants, because we saw what happened last year with Jackson Arnold and Seth, where, Lebby wanted Jackson Arnold. That was his guy. And when you don't have your guy, and that's why, once again, it was so big to bring in John Mateer, when you don't have your guy, then your system is not going to work as well.
Yeah. And I'm getting so sick of this. I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but all like the preseason magazines are coming out, and like everybody, they treat it as a Bible. I mean, it's like, well, obviously, if OU's got the fourth best quarterback room, then that's got to be right. They wouldn't lie about
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
But I mean, I really think we got something special with Mateer. I think people have gone to practice, sees it, and knows it's just going to be a different feeling.
Well, and I mean, Jeremy, look, this isn't Kool-Aid. This is a Sparkling Ice, still not sponsoring us. Up yours, Sparkling Ice. But despite my email of like, hey, I drink one of these on the pod sometimes, and I didn't even get a response. So,
and they're like, you are who?
Yeah, and you are what? We have over 100 subscribers on YouTube and well more than that on Apple and Spotify. So you know what?
So good luck surviving.
Good luck surviving without us. But on the aside of that, I do just think, the hype behind John Mateer that's out there on Twitter, that's out there on, everyone who's kind of seen him, the national-ish people, whether it's, a Joe Klatt or, it's one of the Cover 3 guys or whomever it may be. There's just a lot of positivity out there. There's the whole deal. I forget who it was. One of the draft guys puts out there, I think, that he's an effing dog, and that kind of deal, and that's what we want, because you can't win without a good quarterback. And that's why getting John Mateer was so big. And that's why getting Bo Bentley was big. And obviously our listeners and Jeremy and I both, we do care what the ratings are. And I realize that I think now on 3, we're 17, 18, somewhere in there. 24/7 still had us in the 20s, I think. Does look like we got a good chance. So Wilt Fong picked us for the big edge rusher. It was the number 7 overall prospect. That's a big deal. Hopefully by the time we get back on here in a couple of weeks, we're a top 15-ish recruiting class. But, I was having this conversation with another friend of mine the other day. I think now high school recruiting is still really important, and we want to get who we want to get, but you've got to kind of swim, you've got to navigate how much money and time do we want to put in portal? How much money and time do we want to put in high school? And to me, with adding Nagy, I think we're trying to tightrope that line. But kind of what thoughts do you kind of have on that, Jeremy?
A lot of good reviews. Just and like I've always said, I don't have sources. I have friends that tell me stuff, and a lot of stuff out there that are good about Nagy. Like, the guy is a businessman. He looks at where they're spending their money. We're not just throwing cash out there. I mean, Oregon can do it. They got Phil Knight money. So, certain schools can throw money around. We have to be smarter with our money. We're in Norman, Oklahoma. It is what it is. But then I've heard a lot of good signs about, like, Nagy's really watching the budget and what they spend on and the importance of spending. That's why the Cal running back that came over, why can I never remember his name?
Jaden Ott.
God dang it.
Jaden Ott. Yeah.
Leon, got it. Yeah, but I'll never forget it now. But shout out to Leah Ott, went to high school with her. But I'm sure she listens to this.
But she's a big fan.
She's like, thank God Soonercast is on. Maybe my name will be said. Boy, if you put that on a bingo card, I don't think anybody would.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you even know this is my pre-Hilldale days. Goss went on a date with Leah Ott when Goss was like a sophomore. Didn't know that. This is the Goss and the Warner days. So there you go.
Well,
didn't think we would go there on this, but
we are friends. So yes, I do know that.
I wonder we're getting 11 views on YouTube. So go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead. Let's talk John. Much more popular, much better hair, much better flow than Goss.
Now, how do we get 100 subscribers with this content? But but really, they said that he wanted to spend the money on Ott, but just because he felt like he's going to help his running back room, and he's overspent on a few of the portal guys that kind of cut them back on what they could spend. But he's at least looking at that as saying, like, we're not going to just keep spending and throwing money at people. That's not how we do things. So I really do like that part of it, because it is a business now.
I did have someone ask me the other day that, are we going to be the Oakland A's now of college football, just trying to pinch pennies and all that? And I'm like, no, but I think we're maybe trying to be, like, we want to be one of those baseball teams that scouts really well and spends money. Like, we're not going to spend money like the Dodgers. Maybe we want to be like the Giants were, a few years ago when they were doing a really good
or
job.
like the Red Sox were
finding
when
those
they
people,
first started winning.
Yeah.
So.
Tampa Bay, back when the guy who's the GM at LA now was in Tampa Bay. That's what we want to be. We want to be a perennial contender, and we don't want to spend stupid money because guess what, guys? We don't have the billionaire backer like Texas Tech does. We don't have the billionaire backer. That's not we're not going to just spend money to fix problems, but that's not where we want to head. But all in all, guys, I think Jeremy and I just wanted to talk just a little bit about this. We're happy with Bo Bentley. We're happy with the direction the recruiting class is. Seems like Champ U Barbecue was a big success. Lots of signees already from that. Lots of positivity coming out of that. And I think by the time we get into the middle of July, we're going to have an even better idea of what this class is going to look like come time.
And also too, to transition, who we want Nagy to be is Sam Presti. That's who we want Nagy to be. Because the last part of it is going to be Thunder Talk because there's not every day you win an NBA championship.
Okay. Jeremy, why don't you take the first rant on this of, as we have Thunder Festivus and we pass around the poll here and let people know how they disappointed us. Would you like to talk about the narrative of, why maybe this, Jeremy, this one really doesn't count because Tyrese Halliburton got hurt.
Well, here's what I
was hurt.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon apparently is like a LeBron James clone because that was part why
John Morant got hurt. We were losing that game to Memphis when John Morant got hurt.
Yeah, and he figured us out too, unfortunately.
And Anthony Edwards had child paternity problems going on, so he couldn't focus
obviously
on that.
That's it. So, well, one thing that aggravated me is that, and I've tried not to fall in this trap, but I do every time. I know on these talk shows and different, like the Barstool guys, they were like, I think one of the Barstool guys said, in 10 years, we'll remember Indiana. We won't remember Oklahoma City, which I feel is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, are you serious? And the knock that that the Thunder are getting is that they're just too much of a team. There's no like superstar. I'm like, that's what everybody's trying to do. If it's not working, then why are everybody trying to emulate the Thunder now?
Yeah.
It's like,
and
like everybody's watching Presti tonight because they're like, what is he going to do in a draft? Well, I mean, who is he picking? And you guys watch. He's already got the moves in place. He's probably going to take the Maryland big man, let him sit under Hartenstein, and then let Hartenstein walk, and he will sorry, my wife's texting me about birds attacking him outside. But let
that's a Hitchcock movie for those those movie buffs. So
that's gonna be on
the Downing clan. But
yeah,
maybe guys, we got a pod in.
Maybe she'll listen to this now.
Yeah, but and I'll let Jeremy text us a second here. But jokingly we say this stuff, but it just bothers me of the, I'm a big Bill Simmons guy. I listen to all the Bill Simmons and Ryan Barcelo stuff. I like those guys. I like the Ringer stuff a lot. But it's just, did it stink when Halliburton got hurt? Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awful. Nobody wanted that. And I mean, was there a part of me that just even felt sorry for Oklahoma City when that happened? Yeah. Cause I even thought, well, now crap, people are going to use this as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first off, I mean, Lord, Halliburton's a great player. Rick Carlisle is an absolute wizard as a coach. It was, a frustrating series to watch because, like we've talked about in the past, it was like the JV All-Stars who tried too hard. And I still don't know what voodoo magic. And we do know it was voodoo magic because we all saw the meme and video of Pascal Siakam summoning Lucifer before Game 6 or whatever voodoo that he was potentially doing. But I'll be glad that TJ McConnell's Space Jam powers will be gone at the end of this series. And, it was really funny, though, that eventually we did finally figure out, put Lou Dort on TJ McConnell. And guess what? Life isn't near as much fun.
Yeah, who'd have thought that would work?
With Lou Dort guarding you. And I think Kason Wallace is a good player, but, I think McConnell used Wallace's aggression just kind of against him to just go, guess what, guy? I'm going straight to the basket. That's what I'm doing. And I will drive and I will shoot a jump shot over my head, jumping as high as I possibly can. I actually did see something, just wanted to touch base with that. If you're a young guy who, looks like Jeremy and I, and you think, you know what, maybe I too can join the NBA, like TJ McConnell. You know what TJ McConnell averaged his senior year in high school, Jeremy?
I don't.
37. Okay. 37 points, 11
Wow.
rebounds, 8 assists, and 7 steals per game. I was watching.
And I thought my all region was going to get me somewhere.
Yes. And, despite, Jeremy and I getting to play in, the vaunted all conference games, our senior year, that was a little better stats than Jeremy and I had. And no disrespect to the all Phoenix teams that we may have made back in the day. That 37 and 11 was special. And he's from Pennsylvania, played the largest class in Pennsylvania, was state runner up his senior year. Those guys are different. Those guys are really good. And as frustrating as it was, hats off to Indiana, hats off to all that. But by God, like, the narrative that this isn't a real championship or whatever. I mean, guys, this is a great team. And yes, was it hard? Guess what? Winning is hard. Nothing easy. Nothing good is easy. Okay. I mean, all the good stuff's on the other side of hard. And, that's what the Thunder had to get through. When we had to beat Nikola Jokic, who's a great player. He is. Okay. Yeah. And it's hard to beat a former champion and a multiple time MVP. It is. Aaron Gordon has always given us crap. And, whether he was hurt or not, we dominated them at home. Hopefully next year as we go on, our road record will be better in the playoffs. But guess what? Winning is hard and flags fly forever. I mean, can you imagine telling, we're joking about our high school days a few times on this. Can you imagine telling us in high school, Oklahoma City would, number one, have an NBA team, and number two, win an NBA championship? That's insane. I mean,
not to mention we are a very, very spoiled fan base. We have 1 year when they first got here where we rebuild. Then we make the 8th seed the very next year. And then it's like, okay, now all the pieces are getting put in place. We had 2 years, really 2 years that we tanked. And that's all. And how many years they said that, that like Oklahoma City has rebuild, tanked, and got back to the playoff quicker than the Spurs have. The last time Spurs made the playoffs was 2019.
Wow!
If that put that in perspective, it's just.
I mean, imagine, Jeremy, if we were Washington Wizard fans or Charlotte Hornet fans.
I mean, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say is when.
And look, there's some luck involved.
When we went to the finals. Do you remember though in 2012 we went to the finals? We were like, well, obviously we're going to go like next year and the year after.
I mean, the next 4 or 5 years, right?
We never made it.
I don't take this for granted. And like these people are like, oh, I wonder how many we're going to win. I wonder if we can. I don't care about that right now. I want to be happy that we won. I am happy that we won, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, we are champs. I'm about to go. For those programming notes, there won't be a Soonercast on next Wednesday. Goss is going to be on a Disney cruise, and I am on my way. I'm going to go shopping Friday after I get off work. So I have a Thunder Championship T-shirt. Let everybody know. Hey, Oklahoma, huh? You know it. That's what it is. I am going to soak this thing in. I mean, that's who I am. Let's enjoy this thing. And we will get to, obviously I'm interested who the Thunder are going to pick tonight, whether they're going to trade up and all that stuff. And, I used to be, I wonder if we'll trade Dort to make sure we, kind of do some salary. But I think, let's run the bad boy back. Let's run it back.
Honestly, too, I think it's still funny. Houston goes and gets Durant, and people are like, all of a sudden push Houston in at number one. And I'm like, have people not realized that just grabbing superstars and putting them on teams, like you still have to manage. I'll use my softball team as a kind of an example. This year we pulled some players and they're good players, but it's like we didn't mesh together as a team. And it's like not until the last part of the year that we started playing better. But thing is like we can have the best players in the world if they don't play good together and they don't mesh. It really don't matter. And that's why Thunder was so good. They did it the right
Well, I
way.
mean, it has to grow organically. I mean, it just
does.
does. And the Thunder grew organically. Was it great to add Caruso and Hartenstein? Yes, but we won because of SGA, J-Dub, and Chet.
Yeah.
And those guys grew together. And and then we had Lou that grew together with them. And then you add iHeart and you add Caruso to those guys. And that was the beauty of this build. And awesome, Jeremy. I hope you saw it that Mayor Holt, the mayor of Oklahoma City, declared all the different days for everybody. In case you maybe didn't know, July 1st is that's Sam Presti Day. And let's see here. July 8th is Alex Dukas Day, in case you want to celebrate that, or maybe you're a big Kenrich Williams guy. It's July 17th for you. But it is pretty awesome that he essentially power ranked the team. Like the SGA Day is July 30th. It's the last one. And J-Dub before that, Chet before that, Lou before that. And that's
just tell me when the Cola Topic Day is and we'll move on.
Yes, that is July 10th. July 10th is the Cola Topic Day.
All right, I will be in Oklahoma City that day. Then,
so. Brandon Carlson Day, if you're into that, backup center, shoot a few 3 balls, a little flying Morin for 3. That's July 7th, but no big deal.
Hey, Brandon, hey, let me put
Usman Jane Day, we'll celebrate it.
Brandon Carlson, isn't it funny? That guy played like 2 or 3 games, but the 2 or 3 games he played in, he
did not miss a freaking 3.
I mean,
did not miss one.
And that's what's so crazy is like the amount of players this team has. Like, we're going to have to do something with Dang. Dang can go somewhere and probably be either a 6th man or even a starter on some of these teams in the NBA. Like, he is not. We can't keep him, obviously.
No,
He's
that's
just
the thing of okay, like take Ty Jerome. If you don't remember, guys, Ty Jerome used to be on the Thunder, but that was one of those guys that we just looked and we saw, okay, he's not going to be able to be here long term. Now Ty Jerome's about to get absolutely paid, and I'm not meaning that Usman Jang will end up being Ty Jerome, but don't be shocked if this is a guy who doesn't go somewhere and gets some minutes. And big deal. AJ Mitchell is really good. For those of you who really watch the Thunder, AJ Mitchell is really good. And I mean, I don't necessarily know that AJ Mitchell will even be on our team next year because we've got to try to find a way to fit 2 first-round draft picks with guaranteed contracts. I mean, I think he will, but at the same time, I mean, there's lots of things. This is just with the 2 first-round picks we've got. We got a second-round pick coming up tomorrow. It'll just be interesting to see how all this happens. But again, if you are out there and you didn't enjoy this Thunder thing, or shame on you. This is the one thing we can all agree on in this state.
You're a hater, and also too, if you have something bad to say about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you just hate success, and you're a hater.
Well, he is Canadian, Jeremy.
But
maple syrup eating sucker. Not even American.
When you watch this guy play, I look at. I know I'm a Thunder fan, but even if I wasn't a Thunder fan, I'd be like, this guy does everything the right way. There's nothing that he does.
This will be my little mini rant here as we kind of start to wind things down. The free throw merchant thing, is stupid, but let's not act like he's the only person who does that. I mean, Nembhard did the same move as SGA did every time he drove. Every time. I mean, it wasn't like Nembhard wasn't doing it like Shai will do it and kind of see, okay, if I'm stuck, I'm doing it. Nembhard was doing it every drive, and it's the offhand grab and pull thing. But, Doris never was able to see that one, bless her heart. But
oh God, don't even get me started on
I hate wishing for anyone to get fired other than Joe John. But I mean, Doris is so bad. And I used to kind of be a Doris fan of being I think she does a good job, but she was so oversaturated and over her head in this finals that, I mean, I don't think Richard Jefferson's great, but she made Richard Jefferson, I mean, seem like Mike Fratello. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah. And it makes
that's the czar of the telestrator for you youngins out there. That's who Mike Fratello is.
Well, I want the Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen.
Jeremiah Fears goes to the Pelicans, Jeremy. Just
I don't know if that's good for Jeremiah Fears.
I don't think that's good for anybody going to the
Williamson,
Pelicans.
Because Williamson's a convicted felon, isn't he, Monty?
Well, he should be. It's parking tickets, but
whatever.
yeah. But
oh Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
Nobody's listening.
We just went on a major league rant. We've mentioned Leah Ott.
Yeah. So we're this is the dog days of summer here as we're rolling in. So any final thoughts, Jeremy, since we went major league and Leah Ott and
our next podcast, I will start talking about my dating life back before I got married.
Yeah. Woo! One time we'll tales from Jeremy and Steve's couch from back in the old.
God bless. You want to see the lowest viewers? That will be like we'll have to pay YouTube to put that on there.
Yeah, exactly.
But
what is this? Our moms could never find this, but anyway, that's about where we're at.
But seriously, the Thunder, I don't know if I've ever wanted a team win so bad. I was a nervous wreck all day on Sunday, and that was the whole reason I wanted them to win Game 6. If you want my opinion on Game 6, I think we felt like we had it in the bag, and then we played like that. And that was a team that was desperate, and they were going to do everything they could to make sure it went to Game 7. And so kudos to us sticking with it. When that took the air out of Indiana whenever Halliburton got hurt, but it also took the air out of Oklahoma City.
Oh, no, we were bad the rest of that first half. We just were. That's the old dead cat bounce. You've all heard that expression of, like in the end, it wasn't going to work out well for them, but it was good for them that half. And then plus they got, like I said, they got to play the Lord and Savior that was TJ McConnell even more that half. But
Halliburton was coming McConnell-esque before he got hurt. So
yeah, exactly. But again, guys, thanks for listening.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, we won't be on next week. We'll be back after that. Part of my cruise ship work is I'm going to read the entire Phil Steele magazine. So I'm going to come back with more random stats for OU football. We will go heavy into football preseason mode when we return. But again,
we'll be getting close to media day.
We will be. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Email soonercast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We will solicit sponsors again here before we get started for football season. But again, thanks for listening. And Jeremy, go ahead. Have your little spiel here at the end.
Yeah. Subscribe to YouTube. Follow us on Apple and Spotify. And you get a week off from our dating talk, but we're back at it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Thunder up and Boomer
Sooner.